Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 24 of the Relo Show, Real Estate by Loan Officers. I know we every week I'm still amazed that they let us go another week. And I am excited to be joined today. So I'm Sean Richard. I'm one of three hosts. With me, I've got the two other amigos. I've got Candido Diaz, the Candid Mortgage guy. And of course, Mark, approved with Mark Sullivan. Thanks so much for joining us. We're excited to be here today, talking all things real estate, accountability. We got a special topic today that happens to be right on theme for what's been going on in our industry lately. Candido, Mark, man, good to see you guys as always.
Likewise. What's going on?
What is happening? I just took a sip of extremely cold coffee. Like if you put ice in the coffee and let it sit for 30 minutes, it would not be as cold as my coffee just was just now.
Dude, that's all we do in the Northeast is
cold
iced
brew.
coffee.
Yeah. That's crazy because it's iced outside too. Always.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly. I can't do cold coffee. I'm that guy that heats up his coffee in the microwave 7 to 10 times a day. 7 to 10 times. Well, guys, let's kick off the show. We typically get started. So if you're new to the Relo Show, we like to get started with wins and losses. We like to talk about everything that's going well, but we also like to share what is maybe not going so well. Also, Mark, why don't we start with you and tell us what's going on in your world?
Was it the mesmerizing dance moves that you just
saw? It was the mesmerizing dance moves. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a negative. So go with the positive now.
All right. Well, losses. Honestly, I don't have a lot. Except for the normal loan officer loss. That I think we've shared a couple times here. But I lost a loan to a builder who was offering a whole % better, and $15,000 in closing costs. So that is what it is. Got to brush that off. There's absolutely zero that I could have done or my company could have done to help that. So my positive was being able to keep a positive mindset, and I was able to still knock out the things I needed to get knocked out the day that I got that news, because, hey, deals are at a premium. It's a bigger gut punch than it was 3 years ago when you lose a deal, right? And honestly, when I first got started in the industry, that would have wrecked like 3 days of work for me. It wrecked about 45 minutes because it was a friend of mine. So I told him how I felt, and we went about our day. I was still able to get my calls in. I still posted on social media. I still sent out an email blast that got a couple of responses that may turn into. Actually, got a response from a past client that said, "Hey, my son is looking to buy a house. Or can you help him?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." And keeping that positive mindset allowed me to get that application and potential loan. Hey, I
love it.
Negative.
Mic drop, man. That's awesome.
I'm gonna steal the mic, Candido. I'm gonna make you last today, man. So I'm gonna start with my loss. My big loss. So every week on Thursdays, I'm reaching out to clients that I've pre-approved and they're out shopping. And this last Thursday, back to back actually, which was a bit of a beating. Back to back. I had reached out to these clients. They hadn't reached out back to me. They hadn't responded in a few weeks, and which is never a good sign. And they answered the phone and proceeded to tell me that they just closed on a new home with someone else. And so I asked a few follow-up questions, tried to understand, what that was. I immediately turned that conversation to, "Hey, congratulations. I understand. I get what you're talking about. I tell you what, I'd love to stay connected with you because rates are going to come down. Unlike a lot of lenders, I proactively reach out when rates come down to my, to clients. I'd love to put you in that ecosystem so that way you don't have to constantly figure out where the rates are." And they're like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So whether they were serious or not, they're happy to say yes to me reaching back out and potentially turning him to a client when they refinance. So it was a lost 2 clients, but I really tried to take the positive route on that to make that a potential win down the road. My big win from last week, and this is going to sound silly because it was just one little part of my day, but I had probably the best discovery call with a client that I have ever had. And when I say my best, I mean, like, I executed this discovery call to excellent standard, like what I would consider an excellent discovery call. So my execution, I felt, was phenomenal, and that's not always the case. And sometimes that's rarely the case, but I felt like I really executed this. I hit all of the points that I really wanted to. I got the client's buy-in throughout the call, and I was able to finish the call with asking for a commitment from them, and I got it. And that just felt so satisfying to hit every aspect of the commitments, of the points that I needed to cover, to ask the right questions, and then provide such a holistic approach on that call for that client that at the end of the call, they felt perfectly happy to say, "Hey, Sean, like, yes, this was a fantastic call. You're my guy. Let's do this." And they were talking to multiple lenders as well, and I got their buy-in. So it was a phenomenal discovery call, just a minor part of my week, but man, it was a huge win. I really enjoyed it. Candido, man, hit us with the good stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll hit you with the negative first. It's school vacation week. It's school vacation week here. My wife's in Germany, so it's been a week, and I'll just say that. But as far as the negative goes, I have a story for you. So I had a recruiter reach out, and the first call was fine. The second call we had, he called me back, and this was last week. He asked, "Hey, is now a good time?" I said, "No, I'm picking up my daughter from school." And he proceeded to go ahead and still talk for about another 10 minutes, to which I was like, what are we doing? So, it's one of those things. It's just strange, especially right now. You would think that, that people would respect your time, especially recruiters. It's given this challenging market, that's not always the case. So, yeah, it did eventually turn into a hang up, and yeah, no bueno. Anyways, positive. So my win for the week. Last Wednesday, I was talking to a coworker, and I was saying, "Man, it's pretty slow. I've been doing all the right things. I got to just continue to grind it out, like both of you guys have been kind of saying. But I really hope that applications start to tick up. The difference being, I didn't just hope, I continued to still work. And holy crap, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had applications coming in, accepted offers. And I think it just leads into what we're going to talk about today. Always hustle and believe, but always try and keep a positive mindset, because, what we do, we're in sales, whether you like it or not. We are in sales, and it's important to keep that positive juju. You have to keep that positive mindset, because once you start to go ahead and turn negative, that's when things can snowball, not only into a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, a bad quarter, a bad year. So, I was pretty proud of that. I'm really excited, amped up. And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Positive mindset.
I love it. Really important right now. Guys, have you noticed interest rates have been going down for the last week? Oh, wait. No, they haven't at all. None. Yeah, rates have been rising again. The economy is deciding it wants to tell everybody it's still strong, and inflation is not seemingly coming down like we like. So, seems like a really great time to focus on mindset. Mark, man, thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. Never underestimate the American people's willingness to spend money they don't have. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it is, and it's a gut punch, really, because we've experienced quite a few months of improving interest rates. Hey, we could always say, hey, it's better than it was a couple months ago. Hey, we're getting into it, and it does hit you with a punch. But it's something that you can't control. And this is a sales thing in general, but definitely in the real estate industry, whether you're a real estate agent or you're a loan officer or you're a home inspector or whatever it is that you do, there's so many things in our industry that we have absolutely no control over. There are two very different aspects of controlling your mindset. One I'm a master of, and the other one I'm terrible at. The one I'm a master of is the business mindset, is having a positive mindset about my business, and not worrying about anything I can't control. I sleep like a baby, no matter what's going on, because I know that at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, or let's face it, at 8 o'clock, whenever I'm tired and I want to go to bed, there's nothing I can do about anything. And I'm able just to remove that from my mind, have a positive mindset about what's going on, and go to bed. And then I just control what I can control. And the outcome, honestly, I think the number one thing that I learned very early on in my career was being able to detach myself from the actual outcome of the work. Just do the work. Do the work. Whatever outcome happens. Like you could do the same amount of work and you could produce 13 loans that month. And the next month, do the same amount of loans, do 25 loans, and the very next month, do 5. Right? You did the exact same things. It's just some clients didn't go under contract. Some contracts fell out. Some of your applications went elsewhere. Sometimes they didn't, and they all stayed with you. So I detach myself from that outcome, and I just say, I can control what I can control. I'm going to be positive about it. I'm going to get that stuff done. A lot, like I talked about my win today, is all good. The other thing that is a big issue in sales is being able to do that same thing with your personal life. I am awful at that. When there's drama or bad things happening to my personal life, I almost completely shut down. I can't do like my business. I just sit there and stare at the computer screen, and I have to spend a majority of my mornings when bad stuff's happening in my personal life. I have to spend a large amount of my morning being positive, making sure that I'm intentionally positive going in, overly positive, so that it can overshadow all that stuff. I can focus on what I can control and move forward. So I think that's two things that salespeople battle, is being positive about your business and being positive about your life all at the same time. And it's hard when those things aren't actually producing positive results. So that's in a nutshell. I kind of went broad there, but
well, and Mark, it's funny that you describe it. You talk about detaching like that, because one of the things that I constantly tell my clients when they're searching for a home, and this was very much the case in 2020, 2021, still the case occasionally, but I tell them, don't fall in love with the home until it's yours, right? And the concept of that is don't get attached to the outcome of it's your home until it's actually your home. And so with you describing it, getting detached from the results, the outcome, that made me think of that. And I tell clients that all the time, and I don't always practice that in my business, right? Like I feel like in this industry, in sales, if we need to be able to go home at the end of the day and say, hey, I made 25 calls, I made 50 calls, I had 20 quality conversations. And as long as we feel confident that those activities will result in the outcomes that we want, we have to feel good about that we did those activities and not say, oh, well, I made 50 calls today and I had 15 quality conversations and I did, this other activity but I didn't get any buyers, that, if you're a real estate agent, I didn't get any buyers, sign on to me. I didn't get any buyer meetings. I didn't get any seller listing meetings. So getting detached from the outcome, really like that concept. And it's something that we all should be doing. Focus on, get attached to the activities not the outcomes. King 82, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, it's extremely important, Mark, what you said, because we all have families, we all have kids, and your kids, your family, whomever, they can all see it. If you're having a shit day, and you look like you're having that type of day, you're going to bring it home. They're going to feel it, and it's going to just compound, right? So yeah, I mean, the ability to go ahead and try and brush the dirt off your shoulder a little bit, because look, if you're watching the news, or you're watching these daily updates, you're watching these,
don't watch the news.
Yeah, well, you're watching these mortgage-backed securities, the 10-year treasury, that's enough to put you in a bad mood. But it's one of those things where, what I want to get into next, what are you doing to be able to kind of shift your mindset, right? If you have a bad day today, you're still going to wake up tomorrow, put your pants on the same way. But what are you going to do to go ahead, put yourself into a positive mindset, start your day off the correct way, so that way you're not letting those days add up and snowball and multiply. So, fellas, what do you do each day, at the beginning of each day, to try and get yourself going, to try and get yourself in the positive mindset, so that way, you could try and, have some success?
Yeah. I'll take that. Honestly, this is an exact conversation I had with another group that I meet with on Tuesdays about 2 hours ago.
Cheating on us.
Within my company, unless you guys want to join the company, that's how it is. But we talked about what we're doing every single morning to breed the success that we're having. And I'm an early riser. I don't love it right when the alarm goes off, but I do love it once I'm out of bed and I've got my coffee and I have about 2 hours before I have to wake up my son, right? So I have 2 hours of absolutely just me, because the bond market's not open. Underwriters aren't at their desk yet. Real estate agents are asleep for like another 9 hours. I kid. But I have all of that time just to myself. And what I do is I work out. I go for a run. I sit in my thoughts, and if there's negative thoughts, I turn them into positive ones, and I get my day going the right way every single time. And it's something that I've come to rely on every single day. No matter what's going on in my life, that's stable. I control when I wake up. I control what I do for those 2 hours. And then once I wake up the kid, all hell can break loose after that. I just sit there like, what is it, guy? Is it American Beauty, Kevin Spacey? Just kind of.
Oh.
But I can just sit there and be positive in the moment, because I have that morning routine.
Well, and that's the key word. That's the operative word, Mark, right? Is like, you got routines, and that's the same for me. So I've got my routines that I've actually got 4 routines. I've got a morning routine every morning. I've got a work day startup routine. Like when I hit the office, like this is the first 30 minutes when I hit the office every day, this is what I'm doing. I've got a workday shutdown routine. So I'm controlling the last 30 minutes that I'm at the office. And then I've got a nighttime routine. So I'm controlling the bookends of my day. And like you mentioned, Mark, like we don't have 100% control over what happens during our day. We try our best to have as much control over it as possible, but it can get into chaos. So controlling the bookends, I agree. I think that's a phenomenal way to create peace, to create a positive mindset. One other thing that I do that is less of an action, but it's more of just I don't know if you want to call it a positive affirmation, is I constantly remind myself that yesterday has no bearing on today, right? Whatever happened yesterday is irrelevant because it's yesterday. And I just need to make a decision on how I want today to go. And technically we could apply that to every moment, right? Like 5 minutes ago has no bearing on right now. Because if I choose to make a decision to change the trajectory of my day or, on a grand scale, my life, we can make that decision literally at any moment of our lives. And so just in the morning, if I had a rough day, when I wake up or like as I'm going to bed, I'm like, hey, you know what? Not the best of day. Tomorrow has, today has no bearing on tomorrow. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to have a different day because I'm going to choose to do that. So I think just the power of choice and telling yourself that I don't have to, this day doesn't have to go any particular way because of how yesterday went. And you could say that about this 30 minutes or this minute or this, hour, just like, Mark, you said that, you might have in the past lost 3 days over the news that you got, right? But instead you only lost 45 minutes because you made the decision that, that news doesn't have to impact your trajectory the rest of the day.
Yeah. And, I think something that's really important is to find your people, right? What do I mean by that? Well, guess what? You guys, sorry to let you know, you guys are my people. So if I'm having a crappy day, we have a chat that we speak to each other. Guess what? If there's something that I need idea for or just need to vent, I'm lucky enough to have you guys. And it's one of those things where I'm extremely grateful, but it really does help because look, we are in different parts of the country, and obviously we've hung out together in real life as well. But we're not stepping on each other's toes as far as business is concerned. But regardless of us being in separate places, we're all going through the same thing. And I think sometimes just being able to go ahead and rely and count on people, not necessarily around you, but have people that you can go to in a time of need. Hey, look, this has been a really great week for me. I'm happy to go ahead and share that with you guys because you guys are going to celebrate it with me. If this has been a real crappy week, I know that I can go to you guys because you're going to try and lift me back up. So I think that really is important for positive mindset to really find your people, find your tribe, whatever saying you want to go with. It's really important to go ahead and have those people to be able to lean on when you do need them.
What's that saying that you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? And so to me, when I hear that, like, you need to be freaking selective on who those 5 people are, right? You need to decide, do they exhibit the qualities that you want in your life? And that's why I spend, so little time with you. No, that's why we talk all the time. We get on this show and we talk on Thursdays because you guys have that mindset that I want in my life and you have the drive that I want in my life. So, man, I'm right there with you, Candido. I appreciate you guys a lot.
Yeah, no. And, look, I have personal things that I do every single day. I've spoken about it before. I literally show a story of my steps that I get every single day, which is, I always try to aim for 10,000. I think there's 2 days this year that I haven't done it. And, while at the same time, I do sometimes feel like I'm a major hardo going ahead and posting that picture. It really does resonate with people. I get told mostly in person that, hey, I saw your steps the other day. I, kind of made me want to go ahead and get up off the couch or whatever. So, to me, getting that sort of feedback means, all right, well, I need to keep on doing it. Right. And it actually kind of holds me accountable because, well, if I'm not showing that I'm getting there on a consistent basis, then what is that saying about me? What is that saying about my business? So I kind of try and take that and yes, maybe create a business opportunity, but to me it's more about staying consistent And I know that if I hit that on a daily basis, look, I at least got one thing right that day. So that's it for me.
Awesome. Well, hey everyone, if you're struggling to maintain a positive mindset in this environment, and we've been in a tough environment for a little while. If you're struggling, find your people. To Candido's point, find your people. Find the people that have the mindset that you want to have, and get into their circle. Bring them into your circle, and that's going to help pull you out of that and shift your mindset. Really appreciate everybody joining us today. Such a critical, kind of under talked about aspect of our industry and sales in general. So appreciate everybody coming in and letting us talk about this. If there's anything that we can do for you, Candido, myself, Mark, feel free to reach out to us as well. You've got our handles here. Mark, where's your handle? Mark, you need your handle. It's all good. But you guys, yes, Candido.
I have one more thing I wanted to say. Look, especially in our industry, we've had 40% of loan officers leave the business. It's important to go ahead and check in on each other, right? And look, we like to BS around, kid around, enjoy and have fun on these calls, but the long and short of it is not everybody's doing so great. So, make sure you check in on your fellow loan officers, everyone that's in sales. They can all use a friendly check-in. You will be surprised what how are you, and like a real genuine how are you, how far it can go sometimes. So I would say that to everyone. Make sure you check in on each other, and always try and make it a good day.
And a little bit off topic, but my final thought is the only difference between my background and Candido's background is that believe sign. And it's really like the only thing standing in Candido's way of having a really great hostage situation look that I've got going on here. And that does not look like it's just like, hey, my name is Mark Sullivan and I've been kidnapped. No? Okay. Anyway, that's and then Sean actually has the opposite. Sean has everything that he owns behind him on his wall.
A plethora.
This is actually the back of this is the back of my van. This is literally
all right, fellas.
All right.
Everybody, appreciate you joining us today. We're here every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central for the Reload Show. Just three guys more in the industry talking about tons of stuff, mortgage and real estate related, and life apparently. So you guys have an amazing rest of your day and week. Catch up with you next Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us.